So, do y'all like drop shotting? Do y'all like drop shotting because it's effective, or do you like it because you like the way you work it, or is it kind of a mix of both? Well, for me at least, I like throwing a drop shot, but I don't really like the action of throwing it. I just like how effective it is when catching finicky bass. That being said, it has, as of recently, become an important part of my fishing arsenal. First, we're going to look at some underwater footage of them and see how they look underwater, and then afterwards we'll come back in front of the camera and I'll just sit down and kind of go into some of the nitty-gritty details like price, color selection, quantity per pack, stuff like that. And then we'll rate each of these lures based off of like whatever specific attribute we're talking about in that general section. Which, if y'all have never seen one of these videos before, feel free to go look at some of the other ones. There should be a full playlist of them, so you get kind of a gist of how we do this. So I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet, and try not to take up a lot of y'all's time or my time. If y'all are just interested in seeing the underwater footage, feel free to click off after that. I know a lot of people just want to see what the lures look like underwater, and that's totally understandable. If you're someone who's like me and you want to know every little detail about each individual lure, then stick around till the end and you'll get a little bit more of a detailed synopsis of each of them. Real quick, I just want to say thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate it. In case you don't make it all the way to the end, I just want to thank you right now for clicking on the video and watching. And if you could, please leave a like as well as subscribing to the channel. I would really appreciate that. Lets me know that I'm doing a good job and that you'll like the content that I'm putting out. But enough of me talking, let's go head over to the test tank and see what these lures look like underwater. Alright, y'all, know that we're done looking at the underwater footage, let's get into some of the more nitty-gritty details about each of these lures. So we're just going to go in the same order that we looked at them on the screen. So first up, it's going to be the Sweet Spot Tackle Shooter. This again is going to be in that green pumpkin red and black flake color. For the Sweet Spot Tackle Shooter, they come in 6 colors, so we're going to give it a 2 out of 3 for the color category. 6 colors is a little bit low, just in my opinion, for color selection to kind of get you through pretty much everything. But, you know, it'll get you by, I guess. If you want to pick up one of each of the 6 colors, you should probably be able to find something that'll work in your water clarity. But just me personally, I would want a few more colors to choose from. For the quantity per pack, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 3. It comes in 8 per pack, which is decent for a drop shot lure. They usually come in like 6 to 8 per pack. So anything on like that higher mark from like the 8 on mark is going to be probably above average, I would say, for the amount of lures that you get per pack. For price, I'm going to give this lure a 2 out of 3 because at $3.99 it's kind of like the middle of the road price for a pack of soft plastics. Not too expensive, but also not too cheap. For the action, I'm going to give this lure a 3 out of 3. if y'all can see, it has that little diamond or spade shaped tail at the end, but it gets really thin right before that. And so what that's going to do is it's going to allow, I mean, you can just see sitting in my hand right now, I'm not even moving it, and that whole tail is just kind of bouncing and bobbing. So it's going to be very similar in the water. You don't need to impart a lot of action on this to give the lure itself a lot of action. So I'm going to give this a 3 out of 3 for the action. And then for the other category, I'm going to give it a yes for scent because it's definitely scented. Yes for quality of plastic because it's definitely made out of quality plastic. But a no for the salt because I don't think it has any salt in it. I can't really tell, but it doesn't seem to have any. So that's going to bring the other category to a 2 out of the possible 3, and that'll bring the sweet spot tackle shooter to a total of 12 out of the possible 15 points. Next up, we have the V&M Baits Vertical Shad. This is essentially just a shortened down version of a fluke. It doesn't have that hook gap in the middle, but other than that, it's essentially just a fluke. They also have these two little wing things on the side. I don't really know if they add anything to the action, but you know, just a little bit more something to look at, I guess. But this color is the white ice color. For the color selection of these, we're going to give it a 3 out of 3. The vertical shad comes in 8 colors, which I guess is pretty much just about enough to get you through. Again, it could, you know, probably help to have a few more colors, but 8 colors is going to pretty much get you through the day, and whatever you want to throw it in, like 8 colors is going to be probably good enough. This one also comes in an 8-pack, so we're going to also give this one a 3 out of 3 for the same reasons that we gave the Sweet Spot Tackle Shooter. For the price of this lure, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 3, because again, at $3.99, it's right in that middle of the road kind of area for a pack of soft plastics. And then for the action of this one, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 3. The tail has some shimmy as you move it through the water, but it's not an overpowering action. I feel like this would just be a good average, like, clear water, maybe cold water bait. It would just not have a ton of action and just kind of sit there and kind of wiggle a little bit and entice a bite. And then for the other category, I'm going to give it a yes for scent, a no for salt, and a yes for quality plastic, because they are definitely made out of quality plastic and they are scented. It's a very light scent. I don't know what it is exactly, but it's definitely scented. Ooh, got some in my nose. But it doesn't seem to have any salt in it. So that'll be a 2 out of 3 for the other category and a total of 12 out of the possible 15 points for the V&M Vertical Shad. Third up is going to be the Lucky John Hammerstick. This is the T36 color, I believe. These lures are weird. They don't really have a specific color, I would say. They're not named after colors, I guess is what I'm trying to say. They're just numbers and letters. T36 is this one, and they have T40, T48, and they're all just correlate. They all just correlate to different colors. So these actually come in 10 different colors. So that's going to be a 3 out of 3 for the color selection. This lure actually has the second most colors offered that we looked at today. And honestly, I really think that 10 colors is going to be more than enough to get you through. They have a ton of good bait fish colors, imitate bluegill, shad, whatever you want really, and pretty much something for every water clarity, so definitely have enough colors. So 3 out of 3 for the color selection. For quantity per pack, I'm going to give this a 2 out of 3. They only come in a pack of 5, which is a little bit less than your average drop shot lure, but I don't know, it's pretty much in the average range, I would say, for amount of soft plastics that you get per pack, so I'll just give that an average score. For the price for the hammer sticks, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 3. They're sold for $2.99 per pack, which is on the lower end of most soft plastics that are offered. For the action, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 3. It also has a very similar spade shape to the end of the tail, and while that thinner section is shorter, it still allows for a lot of twitching action with not a lot of movement, as y'all could probably see here. I'm not moving my fingers all that much, I'm just kind of rolling it, and it's wiggling and shaking all around. So definitely would be a good drop shot lure for that reason. You don't have to, again, impart a lot of action to give the lure a lot of action. And then for the other category, I'm going to give it a yes for scent because I believe they're a mackerel scent they use, but it's definitely scented. It's some sort of bait fishy smell. And then a 1 for salt because it actually does have salt in it. Not a lot, but it has a bit of salt in it. And then a 1 for the quality plastic as well because I do believe they're made out of quality plastic. So that's going to give the other category a 3 out of 3, and the Lucky John Hammer Stick is going to come in at 14 out of the possible 15. Fourth up on our list, we have the Mismo Teaser Tube. So this is going to be their 2.75-inch tube. They have a bunch of other different sizes, but this is the smallest one that they make, I think. I couldn't find that color on there. I guess it's probably just like a green pumpkin or a pumpkin or something like that. Maybe motor oil, but I couldn't find it on their website, so I'm just going to say that I don't know what the color is. It kind of looks like a motor oil mixed with a pumpkin with like some green and red flakes in it. But anyway, it's just a good bluegill or bait fish imitation. For colors, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 3 because it's offered in 6 colors, which I guess is again enough to get you through, but I would probably, want a few more colors. For the price, I'm going to give it a 1 out of 3 because at $4.99, this lure is one of the most expensive ones that we looked at today, and it's also kind of on the higher end of prices when talking about soft plastics. For quantity per pack, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 3. This lure comes in 10 per pack, which I think is the most that we looked at today. So definitely if you're looking for like just bang for your buck and you're looking for a lot of lures per pack, this is going to be the way to go. The action on this actually surprised me a lot. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 3, and there's really one main reason why I would do that, and that's because it floats. I don't know if y'all noticed in the tank, but I wasn't moving it at all. Like, I actually put the string down on the side of the tank at one point just to test it, and they float. They just straight up are buoyant. So I think that that's really going to be a killer action for if you need something to just kind of sit there and kind of hang out, not do anything. This is going to, I don't think there's another lure that could possibly be better than this. Like, they just kind of sit there. They don't do anything. They just kind of float there. So anytime you need like just a lure to just sit, I think this is probably what I'm going to be reaching for. And then for the other category, I'm going to give it a 1 for scent because it's definitely scented, a 1 for salt because like most tubes, they're very salted. You could probably hear it in the GoPro, maybe, I don't know. But while I was holding it, it was like flaking salt off onto the table. So, yeah, it's definitely salted. And then a 1 for quality plastic because they are definitely made out of some quality plastic. Last, so that's going to bring the other category to it on the list. Just 3 out of 3, purely based on action. Teaser tube to Duo Realist 12 shad. This color is Silver Chartreuse, and I don't really know what else to say about this. It's very soft. It's got ribs that run like that little back section. I don't know if y'all can see that, but there's ribbing here, which puts off some water displacement. And that tail just has like a super wide kicking action, which we'll get to in a minute. But so this lure is offered in 15 colors, so we're going to give it a 3 out of 3 for the color selection. This is the most amount of colors that we've looked at today. For the price, I'm going to give it a 1 out of 3 because at $5.49, these are also the most expensive lures that we looked at today. For the quantity per pack, I'm going to give this a 2 out of 3. These lures come in a 7-pack. So they're right around the middle of the range when you're talking about amount of soft plastics per pack. So we're just going to give it just kind of an average score. And again, for the action, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 3. I was extremely impressed with the action of this one. It's got a very soft body. It's got that whippy sort of thin tail, similar to the shooter and the hammer stick. And it's also got those ribs and that V-tail on the back, hence the name V-tail shad. And both of those just allow for a super wide, like, huge kicking action. So I think in the summer, when the fish are super active and they're looking for like a lot of action or movement in their lures, this is probably going to be one of my go-tos. The only thing that I wish is that I didn't pick it up in such a stupid looking color. I'm sure I could probably find some fish to eat it, but silver chartreuse? Like, really? Anyway, so for the other category for this, we're going to give it a yes for scent because it's definitely scented, yes for salt because it's definitely salted, and a yes for quality of plastic because this is probably the best quality plastic that we've looked at the entire video so far, so definitely made out of some quality plastic. So that's going to bring the other category to a total of 3 out of 3, and the Duo Realis V-Tail Shad to a total of 12 out of the possible 15 points. Alright y'all, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, again, please hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. As well as leave me a comment down below. Let me know which one of these lures was your favorite. You could do it based on action, based on price, whatever you want. I usually just choose them based off of action because I don't really care that much how much I pay for it as long as it catches fish. But maybe you guys have a different perspective on it and y'all would want to take it based on, I don't know, most cost effective or something. So let me know down in the comments about that. And last but not least, if you want to see some more content like this, please hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it if you help me grow my channel. It means a lot to me, and you pressing that button is going to help more people see my videos as well. So then hopefully more people can also enjoy these. But that's going to do it for me. Real quick, before I go, I just want to say be safe out there. Make sure that you're washing your hands, social distancing. It's pretty crazy out right now, so just be safe. And tight lines and keep it real. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.